Okay, as you can see here, we have two questions in the TMA. The first question of 5 marks. They provided the data set. I already posted the data set on LMS. Did you see the data set? If you download the data set, you will get an Excel file like this. And here you can see, here we have several columns. The gender of the student, race or ethnicity of the student, the parent level education, lunch, test preparation course, then the marks of different courses, math, reading score, and writing score. So you have to use this data set for answering question 1 and 2. Okay. Did you see the data set that is posted on LMS?
Yes.
Yeah, so you have to download it and you have to use it to solve question 1 and 2. Okay. So here you can see the data set contains 1000 rows and 8 columns representing the students' population details and academic performance. It provides a detailed view of how the background and preparation affect the student performance. Okay. So we are going to check whether the gender affect the marks of the student, the race affect the mark of the student, the parental level of education affect the mark of the student, then the type of the lunch the student had, whether it affect the performance of the student, and if the student completed the preparation course, whether it is affecting the performance of the student. So this is what you can check. Or in other words, we can see whether there is a correlation between these columns and the score of the student. So this is all about the data set. And here in question 1, what they ask you, write a summary of your understanding of the purpose and contents of the data set and your assessment of the quality of the data. Listen, you need to write about the data set. Okay, you have to write this data set is about what, and about the content of the data set. That is the first part of the question. Here you can see this is the first question for 2 marks. The contents of above data set with a detailed description. Okay. So you can write each column name and just write one sentence about the description of each column. Okay. If you are going to write in details about each column, you will get a very long answer, because here you can see the answer of question 1, it should be 300 words. So if your number of words is more than 300, you will be deducted marks. Okay, so make sure that all the answers of this question, like here we have question 1, question 2, and question 3. So all the answers of this question should cover 300 words. Okay. So when you write the answer of this question, you just write the column name and just write one sentence description for each column. Okay, so that is the that you want to write for the first question. Then the second question, this is for 1.5 mark. The quality of the data with respect to validity, accuracy, completeness, consistency, and uniformity. Okay, so these are the qualities that we need to evaluate, or these are the qualities that we need to assess. We have to check whether the data is valid or not, whether the data is correct or not, whether the data is complete or not, whether the data is consistent or not, or the data is uniform or not. Okay, so here we have to write Python code, uh, and by using this code you can evaluate the quality of the data. So what you need to make a notebook file. So here, I hope you all know how to make a new notebook file. Yes. Okay.
No, how?
Okay, go to the File tab here, and then here we have New Notebook, and click on Python 3. So a new notebook will be created. Okay, so you can see, for example, you can write this as the answer of question 2, and then if we need to create another cell here, so if you want to write code, you can write the code here. Okay, so what we need to write here, because before I explain the code, make just note that you will have two links. In one link, you will submit the Word file. Inside the Word file, you will write the description. You will write the descriptive answers. And the other link is for submitting this notebook file. So this is the notebook file. Okay. So in the notebook file, you will write the code. You will write the Python code, and you will submit that notebook file in the notebook link. Okay, so you will have two files, one Word file and the other one is the notebook file. You need to submit the Word file in the Word submission link, and you will submit the notebook file in the notebook submission link. Okay, and here, what we need, we have to assess, or we need to evaluate the quality of the data. Okay, so we need to read this CSV file. So here you can see we need to import the required libraries like the Pandas library, NumPy library. So what are all the required library you have to install here, and then we need to read the CSV file, that is the Excel file. So we already learned before how to read a CSV file into the notebook. So this is how to read the file. And here just we are reading the content of the file. So here you can see by using this method, we can read the first three lines, and here we are reading the last three lines. And then here we are displaying what are the columns of this data set. So if you write the name of the data set and dot right columns, it will give you what are the columns of this data set. Then here you can see, if you use a method called info, then it will list out what are the columns of the data set, and how many non-null values are there in each column, and you can see the data type of each column. Okay, so this is another data set, not the one that is not the one which is provided for TMA. This is another data set. Okay, so you can see here we have 20 columns, and you can see it is already written here. When you use the info method, it will give you the information about the data set. Okay, so here these are all the number of rows or number of values in the data set, and here you can see this is the total number of columns, and here each column and the non-null values, the D type, it is the data type. Okay, so if you go through the non-null column, you can see we get the same value, which means that each column contains the same number of non-null values. Okay, that means as per this, there is no null value in each of the column. So why we are checking for null values? Because we have a property, or one of the qualities of the data set, whether it is complete or not. So if there is a null value, which means that the data set is not complete. Okay, so they are asking you to assess the quality of the data. So one of the quality is completeness. So to check the completeness quality, you can use this method. Okay, and here you can see we have one more method here, that is describe. So it will give you how many values are there in each column, what is the average value of each column, and what is the standard deviation of each column, then the minimum value and maximum value of each column. Okay, so if you take the age column, here you can see this is the total number of values, and this is the average value of age, and this is the standard deviation of age, and minimum value of age is 17, and maximum value of age is 98. Okay, then you can see percentiles, 25 percentage, 50 percentage, 75 percentage, which means that for example, let's take the first column, the age column. So there are 32 values which are below 25 percentage of all the values. Okay, and there are 38 values which are below 50 percentage, and there are 47 values which are greater than 75 percentage. Okay, so it will give you the values which is less than 25 percentage of values, less than 50 percentage of value, and less than 75 percentage of value. Okay, so this is again a summary of a statistical function, or a summary of a statistical description about this data set. Okay, now as we explained before we already found that there are no null values in the data set. So we are going to analyze this property again. So for that, here we have a function called isNull. So you can use this function isNull. Then we are summing how many null values are there in the data set for each column. Okay, that's why first we wrote the name of the data set. Here it is bank additional full. That is the name of the data set. And then here we use isNull. We are checking whether there is a null value, and then we called the sum function. So it will sum up if there are null values, it will sum up the number of null values. Okay, so here you can see we got 0 for each column, which means that there are no null value. Okay, and here yes, in order to print the missing values, so if values are missing in SQL, it will represent these missing values are represented by null. But if it is Python, they are using different labels, not only null. They can use NaN, they can use unknown, or they can use none. So if you are checking for is null, it will check only for null labels. Okay, so we have to check for all the labels that they are using in Python. Okay, so it can be NaN, NaT, none, and unknown. So all represent missing values, okay, or incorrect values. So here for that we are just write a print statement inside. We wrote total missing value, and then we use the same method is null, and we call the sum method. So again we got total missing value is 0. Then if it is 0, which means that there is no null value. Now we are checking whether there are unknown labels is there in the data set. So if there is an unknown label, which means that the value is absent, or we don't know the value. So for that, what we are doing, we are using a replace function, and if there is unknown in the data set, this unknown is replaced by NaN. Okay, so that's why we use the replace function. So this text will be replaced by NaN, and here we wrote in place equal to true. In place equal to true means that this unknown will be replaced by NaN. Okay, and a new object will be created. If you do not use this argument, then it will use the old object or old data frame. This is our data frame or data set. So it will be the old data set, but here we are creating a new data set. That's why here we wrote in place equal to true. Then so when we use the replace function, and again we are checking whether is null dot sum. So now we got the total number of missing value is 12,718. So before we got 0, but now we got 12,718. Okay, so when you check for completeness property, if you just write is null function, you cannot find out that the missing value. Okay, so if you want to get missing values, then you have to use the replace function. Then you need to use the is null function. Then you can find out how many missing values are there in the data set. Okay, so this is how we are checking the completeness property. Do you understand?
Can I ask a
Yes, but
question?
just one question. Why is the sum function used twice?
Here you can see we are converting this into a string type. Okay, so here you can see this is the str method, and then this is the data set, and then here you can see we are checking is null, and then we call the sum method. Okay, uh, after that we are calling again the sum method. Okay, then we joining this with the string total missing value. Okay, so if you are not using this concatenation operator, you just use one sum method as we used to before. Here you can see here we used only one sum function because we are not converting it into a string, and we are not joining with that text. Okay, so if you just write some function, you will get the result like this. Okay, so here what we did, after that we are converting this into a string. So here it is an integer, but after we convert it into a string, we have to check. That's why again we called the sum method. Okay, because now the output it is of type string, because we joined the output with the text total missing value. Okay, so first the output will be a number, then we converted into a string. Again we are checking how many null values are there, the total number of null values. That's why again we used the sum method. Okay, I hope you understood, right?
Yes.
Now we are going to check the next property. The next property is the consistence property. Okay, so whether the data is consistent or not. So for that we are checking
Doctor,
for, yes.
can I ask you more than one question?
Yes.
The first one is this one of the notebooks that are provided in the LMS?
There is no notebook provided in the LMS. You mean the course notebooks?
Yeah, I mean this notebook that you're explaining from is one of the
No, no,
course
no,
notebooks.
no. No. This is just I want to show you how you can answer the TMA. It is not there in the LMS.
So we should go like exactly on the steps that you are mentioning, but on the file that we are provided in the TMA.
I didn't get you. What do you mean?
We must like write what you are explaining right
No,
now
no, no,
for
no,
the
no.
TMA.
In the TMA, what you want to do, you have to check all the properties. So you need to show how you checked all these property, how you checked the completeness property, how you checked the consistency property. So you have anyways you have to write the Python code. You can use any format, but the code should be there, which is for checking these properties. And in the course notebooks, we have, let's say, part 3. Yes, so in part 3, there is a notebook which discuss uh, like how you can check for these properties. Okay, so here you can see handling the missing data, cleaning the data. So these are describing how you can handle the missing data, how you can find out the missing data, and so on. Okay.
But if we used your steps that you're now explaining to solve the TMA, it is considered correct. But
Yes.
we must use it on the file provided only.
Yeah, but I'm not to showing you all each and everything. Just I give you a general idea, because actually I'm not supposed to explain like this, but many of you ask me how you can solve the TMA. That's why I explain. Okay. Actually, we are
Yeah.
not allowed to explain the TMA like this. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so now we have to find out whether the data is consistent or not. So to check the consistency property, we are checking for the duplicate data values. So to find out the duplicate value, here we have a method called duplicated. So it will tell you how many rows are duplicated or how many values are duplicated. Okay, so here we found that 12 rows are duplicated. So if the 12 rows or 12 values are duplicated, which means that the data is not consistent. Okay, so here you can see now we are going to see after we replaced unknown by NaN. Here we are trying to see how many missing values are there in each column. So before we got 000 for every column, but now you can see there are many missing values in these columns. Okay, so this is how you can find out the completeness property. Okay. Then, what are the other property other than completeness, other than missing values, consistency property? There is uniformity property. Okay, what is meant by uniformity? Check each column and for example you can take these numerical columns and here you can check whether any values they are in a different range, for example greater than 100, or there is a value which is a negative value, because they are all the marks. Okay, so the marks should be from 0 to 100. So all the marks are uniform. Okay, so there is no negative value, there is no value which is greater than 100. Okay, so like that you can find out the uniformity property. Then here you can check the column, gender column. So you know if it is the gender column, the values can be either male or female. Okay, so if you have any other value, then you can find it out. So if there is any other value other than male and female, which means that the data is not valid. So this is an invalid data. Okay. Like that, you can check for other columns. For example, here if you check the race column, here we have groups, group A, group B, group C, group D. Okay. So other than these names, if you have any other name, this is not an expected format for the race column. Okay, so like that you can check whether the data is uniform, whether the data is valid or not. Okay, and also if there are empty columns. Okay, for example if you check now, there is no column with the empty blank. Okay, so we can say that whether it is completed or not completed. So like that you can write the other three property, like validity property, uniformity property, and the completeness property. Okay, so you can explain this as answer of this question. So here I shown you the notebook, and we wrote the code, and when you execute the code you got the output. Okay, so based on the output that you got, you have to explain the answer of question 2. So if you do not write any Python code, and if you write by using your own idea without Python code, you will not get the full mark. So in the notebook file, you will write the Python code, and then you can take the screenshot of the code and the output, and you can put it into the Word file to prove that you already wrote the Python code and you got the output. And based on this output, you are explaining the quality of the data. So in the Word file, you can write whether the data is valid or not, why, whether the data is accurate or not, why, whether the data is consistent or not, why. So you have to write this in the Word file. Okay. Then the third question, estimate the
Doctor,
amount of, yes.
we should write a code for the validity, accuracy, completeness, consistency, and uniformity, or just like for few of them is
Few of,
enough?
because we cannot write code for all the qualities to check all the quality. So wherever it is applicable, you need to write the code.
So the ones that you explained with code are the one applicable with
Yes,
code.
yes, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Then estimate the amount of dirtiness of the data of each type and discuss its potential impact of the goal of the analysis. So how to calculate the amount of dirtiness? Okay, for example here you can see there are 41,000 values are there, and out of 41,330 values are null values for the job column. So here you can calculate the amount of dirtiness. Dirtiness means that errors. So 330 divided by 41,000 into 100. So you will get a percentage. So that is the percentage of incomplete value for the job column. Okay, like that you can calculate the percentage of null values for the marital column. The same thing, 80 divided by 41,000 into 100. Okay, so if you calculate the percentage of null values for this column, it is a less percentage because there is only 80 values out of 41,000 values. Okay, so it is a very small percentage. So it will not make an impact in the analysis. Okay, so like that you can answer this part. Okay, if you find out whether there are missing values, then you need to calculate the percentage, and then you can decide if you get a high percentage, of course it will affect the analysis, but if it is a less percentage, it will not affect the analysis. Okay, so you can write that as an answer of this question. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay, so the answers of these three questions, it should all together, it should be of 300 words. So please not write more than 300 words because we have 2 plus 3, 5 marks here. So if the number of words is more than 300, you will be deducted 1 mark. So please don't write more than 300 words. Okay?
Doctor,
Yes.
it must be like paragraphs with like a beginning and then a body and then an ending, or it would be just like points
Right.
mentioning each one.
Here, this is the answer of the first question. So you can just write the name of the column and one sentence to describe that column. That's it. Okay, no need to separate them as paragraph or anything. Then here, like to assess the quality validity, write validity and then write whether the data is valid or not, why it is invalid. If there is invalid data, you can do the same thing for all the other property. And for the third question, you just write the you can show it. For example, what is the total number of null values and what is the total number of value, then what is the percentage, because it is a less percentage, it will not affect the analysis, or if it is a high percentage, it will affect the analysis. Just that. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, now we will move to the second question, and it's a project, it's about 45 marks. And here, place all your coding work for this question in the lab notebook template and your project report in the TMA word processing template. So here also we have to write Python code. So that code, it will be in the lab notebook as I shown you. This is our notebook. So I already wrote the question one, and you have to write all the code under question one. Then write one more or create one more cell, and there you will label the cell as question two, and all the coding work or all the Python code should be under question two. Okay. Okay, it's maybe here. Yes. Yeah, so here you can write the Python code, and then maybe you need to write many cells here to answer question two, and here you have to write question three, and then you have to write all the Python code under question three. Okay, and here in this question, you will formulate your own research question or hypothesis and investigate it and write a report of your findings in your solution document. So you need to write your own research question. Try not to copy the same question from others because all this 45 marks, it is based on your question, your research question. If you copy the question from others, your similarity ratio will be very high. Okay, so try not to copy from others because we have several columns. Okay, so what is the research question here? The research question should be related to investigating the relationship between a selected independent variable and a selected dependent variable. You will choose two variables from here. Okay, so one should be an independent variable and another one should be a dependent variable. Okay, so here the math score, it can be the independent variable, and it can be dependent on the gender, can be dependent on race, can be dependent on parental level education, and it can be dependent on lunch, can be dependent on test preparation course. So like that, reading score and the gender, reading score and the lunch, reading score and the preparation course, again writing score and the other columns. Okay, so here you can choose two variables from here, any two variables from here. So these are the output variable and these are the input variable. Okay, so here we are trying to see whether there is a relationship, whether there is a correlation between these scores and the other variable. We have to know, like the math score is depending on the test preparation course, or reading score is dependent on test preparation course, writing score is dependent on test preparation course. Okay, or these scores are depending on the lunch, whether it is depending on the parental level of education, whether it is depending on the race, whether it is depending on the gender, and so on. Okay, so here you have to choose any two variable, then you have to write whether what is the independent variable and what is the dependent variable. Okay, look, they provided some examples here. Is there a statistically significant difference in the score between the students who completed the preparation course versus those who did none? Okay, so you can check whether there is a difference between in the student score if they completed the preparation course or if they didn't complete the preparation course. Okay, then what is the strength and direction of the correlation between the student writing score and their parental level of education? Whether there is a correlation between the writing score and the parental level of education. Then there is a difference in the reading score between the students receiving standard versus free or reduced lunch vary when compared between male and female student. So these are some example. So you can use any two variables from your data set. Okay. Then your investigation should include a proper measure of correlation or other suitable measure to show the relationship between your selected variables and appropriate visualization. So you have to choose statistical methods to justify whether there is a correlation between the variable. Okay, so don't use descriptive statistics method, statistical methods like average, count, sum, minimum, maximum. They are not proper statistical methods to analyze the correlation between any two variable. Okay, so if you want to find out the correlation between any two variable, there are three methods which are described in part 14. They are Pearson R-square method, Spearman-Rowe method, or chi-square method. So you have to use any of these methods to find the correlation between the variable. Okay. So here, just I will show you that notebook. So here in this notebook, it is 14.2. We are going to analyze the accident data set. Okay. So here we are going to analyze the relationship between the age of the driver and the age of the passenger. Okay, so we are going to check whether there is a correlation between the age of the driver of the taxi and the age of the passenger. Okay, so for that, just one second. Okay. So here you can see actually this we can use a built-in method. The name of the method is Spearman R or Pearson R. Okay. So this method is available in a library called this ip.state. So we have to import that library. So it's already imported at the beginning. Here you can see import ip.states. So you have to import the same library, and then you need to provide two sets of values. Here we are going to find out the relationship or correlation between these two sets of values. The first set of value, it is the age of driver. The second set of value, it is the age of the casualty, age of the passenger or the one who got accident. So these two values are provided as the argument of the method. Okay. So when you execute this method, then you will get two results. Okay. Here you can see this is the value of correlation, or we can say that this is the test statistic. It is the result of the statistical method, and also you will get a p-value. Okay. So if the p-value, if it is less than 0.05, which means that we reject the null hypothesis. Okay, what is meant by null hypothesis is that we assume that there is no relationship between these two variables. So if it is less than 0.05, if the p-value is less than 0.05, we reject the null hypothesis, which means that we reject that there is no relationship between the variable. What it means? We reject that there is no relationship between the variable. So actually what is the meaning? The opposite. That means there is a relationship between these two variables. Okay. So you can write that because the p-value is zero point 0, or because it is less than 0.05, we reject the null hypothesis, which means that there is a relationship between the age of the driver and age of the passenger. This is the p-value. Then here this is the value of the correlation, or the value of Spearman R. So if it is a positive value, then it is a good positive correlation. That means a positive relationship. If you increase the age of the driver, then the age of the passenger will increase. If you decrease the age of the driver, then the age of the passenger will decrease. That is the positive correlation. If you increase one value, then the other value will increases. What is negative correlation? If you increase one value, then the other value will decrease. Okay. And if it is 0, if the value of the correlation is 0, which means that there is no relationship between the variable. Okay. So based on this correlation value, you can write if it is a positive value, then it is a positive correlation. If it is a negative value, it is a negative correlation. If it is 0, then there is no relationship. Okay. So this is how we can use the Spearman row method. The same here, you can also use Pearson R square method. So for that we are using the method Pearson R. The same argument here, and you can see we got these two results. So this is the test statistic, or the value of R. So R can be plus 1, minus 1 and 0. Here it is 0.44. It is a positive value, which means that it is a positive correlation. And the p-value 0.0, the same as before. Okay. So this is how you can use the statistical method. Okay. So here you have to write, or you have to use one of these statistical methods to explain whether there is a correlation between the variables or not. Do you understand?
Doctor, can I ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
In the first one, the correlation part, it was 0.4, so it's not considered as 0, isn't it? So
No,
there
no.
is a relation.
We consider this as a positive value, and because it is a positive value, this is a positive correlation.
So if it was completely 0.0, then we will consider that there is no relation.
There is no relationship.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay. Then what you need, visualization can be provided either by utilizing the Folium library or the Matplotlib library. So these are the two libraries that we are using to draw graph or charts. So you have to use any of these library in order to draw the charts. Okay. So here, of course, you have to draw two graph. So in order to draw the graph, you need to use any of these library. Okay. So here I think maybe
Doctor,
yes.
if it mentions that we should use one way to like explain the correlations, if we used more than one, is it considered wrong?
Just use one. No need to write more than one.
Even in the drawing, if it mentioned like one, we should stick to the number of drawings or number of things
Because in
that
the
they
drawing,
ask.
they ask you to draw two visualization. Just to do two visualization. Don't draw more than two.
uh,
Okay. Okay. So
or
this
we
is.
will deduct marks,
Hmm?
or we will get deducted marks.
No, it will not. I will not deduct marks, but we have a lot to mark. So don't give
Oh
more.
yeah.
Okay, so here
Okay.
you can see how to make a chart or how to draw a graph. So here we need to import that library, matplotlib library, because this is the library which is commonly using. So here you can see this is a series, a group of value. The name of the series is A series. These are the values. Okay. And if you want to draw a line graph, you just write the name of the data set and then use the plot method. So it will draw a line graph. Okay. Then here you can see no label for the graph, no label for x-axis, no label for y-axis. So for that, here you can use title argument and you can provide the title for the graph. Then this is the method for providing x label, and this is the x label, the label on the x coordinate. And to provide y label, you can use the y label method, and this is the label which can be seen on the y coordinate. Okay, so what you will get the same graph, but here we have a title and there are labels for both x and y axis. So this is how to draw a line graph. Okay, and uh, to draw a bar graph, here you can see this is the name of the data set. Then to draw the bar graph, plot dot bar. Okay, plot dot bar, and then you can provide the title. You can provide the values of x coordinate and the values of the y coordinate. Okay, so provide the values of x coordinate, use the argument x lim, and for providing y coordinate value, here y limit. And this is the argument for providing the color of the graph, color. Then you can use any color. Then this is the same as before, how to provide x label and y label. Okay, so this graph will be created. So you can see x label is there, y label is there, and a title is there. The color of the bars are red. And here you can see the values of x coordinate from negative 0.5 up to 4.5. Okay, and for y coordinate the values are from 0 to 7. Here you can see the values are from 0 to 7. Okay. Yes, and then so this is all about the bar chart. And if you want to draw a scatter plot, yes, the same thing, the name of the data set. And if it is a scatter plot, you have to write plot dot scatter. Okay, and here uh, this is the label of the x coordinate. Postcoast is the label of the y coordinate, and the color of the chart or graph, it is black. Okay, so like that you can draw any kind of graph by using this matplot library. Okay. Okay, we will go back to the question. Okay, so what you need to write as part of this question, the first answer you have to write, it is executive summary. You need to write a general summary or the summary of your project, what you are doing. In general, you need to write what you are going to do here. You are analyzing the data set. How you are analyzing the data set? You are analyzing the quality of the data. You are trying to find out the correlation between two variable. How you are trying to find the correlation variable. So you just write what you are going to do in this question. Then aims and objective. So here a brief description about the general aims of your project. Okay. So here mainly you are trying to find out the correlation. between two variable. Then here for more detailed objectives, you can write the answer in details, like which statistical method you are using and what kind of charts you are trying to use, what kind of tables you are going to use. So these kind of things that you can explain here. And also which is the independent variable, which is the dependent variable. So these things can be included in the detailed objectives. Okay. Then for question 3, the research question. What is your research question? Like the relationship between the preparation course and the math score. This is your research question. And here you have to write what is the independent variable and what is the dependent variable. Okay. So we are checking the math score is dependent on the preparation course. If you attend the preparation course or if you completed the preparation course, whether the student get a high score. If you did not complete or if the student did not complete the preparation course, whether the math score is less or high. Okay, so these are the variable, and then here you can choose which is the independent variable and which is the dependent variable, whether mark is depending on the preparation course or not. Okay, do you understand?
Doctor, for the summary, is it about the first question and the second question combined, or only about the second question?
Executive summary, it is separate. The brief description, again, it is separate, and detailed objectives, it is also separate. In question 1, you just write a general summary of your project. Then in the second question, you just write what is the main aim of this question? What is the main aim of this question? And then here in the detailed objective, you write how you are going to achieve this aim, like how you are going to find out the correlation between two variable, which statistical method you are using, what are your independent variable, which visualization you are using, and so on. Okay.
Okay, so they are only about the second part of the TMA.
I didn't get you. The second part of the TMA, you mean?
I mean, like, we are only answering the summary and the description and also the detailed objectives of the second part that we are working on right now, which is you put your hypothesis and then find the correlation and
Yeah, yeah.
okay, thank you.
So that is about the second and third question. And here, this is the analysis and findings. So for analysis and finding, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sub-questions are here. And you can see for each sub-question, there is a assigned mark. So the first question here, produce convincing correlation demonstrating a statistically significant correlation among your chosen independent and dependent variable. You should use an appropriate statistical method for the types of measure in the variables in your study. Here you have to write which particular statistical method, like whether you are using Spearman-Rho method or Pearson R-square method or chi-square method to find the correlation. You have to explain about the method. You have to write what output you got, like what is the value of p value, what is the value of if you are using Pearson R square, what is the value of R square, if you use Spearman-Rho, what is the value of R, as I shown you before, correlation value and the p value. So if it is a positive value, you can explain because it is a positive value, it is a positive correlation, which means that the two variables that you selected, for example, the math score and the preparation course, you got as a positive correlation. You can say that if you completed the course, then you got a high score. If you did not complete the course, you got a lesser score. So like that, you can explain. So this is what you need to write as an answer of this question. Then give your critical interpretation and conclusion about these observed correlation. Here you write your comment. Okay, so again you write the same thing. If the p-value is less than 0.05, which means that there is a relationship, and if the test is statistic, if it is positive or if it is negative or if it is zero, so this interpretation can be written here. You have to write it again, then only you will get the 2 marks. Okay, then Produce the tabular summary of the data in the form of cross tabs or pivot table along with your critical interpretation of these table. Look, for this they ask you to create tabular summary. Tabular summary means that tables. So, in order to create a table, you have to write the Python code. That means either you have to create a pivot table in Python or you have to create a cross tab. Okay, so it's already here in 4.1, in the notebook 4.1. Cross tabs and pivot table. Okay, so these are the libraries that we need to create, and here we are using this CSV file in order to make the cross tab or pivot table. So look, this is the method that we are using, cross tab. Okay, PD actually it is the library name. So pd dot cross tab, and here in this a CSV file we have a column capital or revenue, and we have another column direct rate. We already explained it in when we explained part 4. It was there. So here by using these columns we are making a table. If you want to make a table, here we can use a method called cross tab. So when you use the cross tab method, it will count the number, actually this data set, it will explain about the number of transactions in each department. Okay, in direct rate means that department. Okay, so here you can see the first column in the table is direct rate. This is what you can see here, direct rate. And second column, capital or revenue. Okay, this department is under the capital category or the revenue category. Okay, so whenever you make the cross tab, it will count the number of transaction in each department. Okay, so you can see these are the count. When you use the cross tab, you can get the count. Okay, so look, in the children's department, there are 37 transactions under the capital revenue, and there are 4,091 transactions under the revenue category. So this is how to create the cross tab. So for answering this question, you need to use the cross tab method to make the table. Okay, and here yeah, if you want to calculate the total number of transaction in each column, okay, look the capital category. Here at the end you can see the total number of transaction is 174. Under the revenue category, the total number of transaction is 12,325. And here the third column, here the last column, it is the total of these two transactions, 37 plus 4091, it is 4128. So these are the summations, the row wise summation, and here at the bottom you can see the column wise total. Okay, so if you want to show the row wise totals and the column wise total, here you have to give an argument margins, and this is equal to true. So if you provided this argument and this, if you set this argument as true, then it will calculate the row wise totals and the column wise total. Okay, so this is also useful when you make the cross tab. So this is you can apply it when you make the cross tab. Then another method for creating a table, that is the pivot table. Okay, so if you want to apply the statistical function like sum, minimum, maximum, if you want to find out the sum of column values or to find out the minimum value, the maximum value, then we can use the pivot table. Okay, because in the cross tab it will only count. Okay, and so how to use the pivot table? Use the data set name, that here it is df, and pivot table, you have to use the method pivot table, and then this is the column name, you can provide the index like that. Then here you can specify what aggregate function that you want to use. Okay, so that's why here the argument of this method aggfunc, that is the short form of aggregation function, this is equal to np dot sum. So np, it is the short form of the numpy library. Okay, so if you want to use any of these aggregate function, we have to use the numpy library. So that is the library is represented by np dot sum. So what it will do, it will calculate, here you can see this is the data set. So if in order to apply the sum function, here look the columns, can we apply the sum function for the column capital or revenue? No, because it is text. Similarly, the directorate column, the transaction number, the date column, service area, expense type, in any of these columns you cannot apply the sum function because you cannot add these because they are text and some of them are date. But here we have an amount column, so you can apply the sum function for the amount column. So when you use that sum function, automatically it will apply the sum function for the amount column. Okay, so what it will do, it will calculate the total amount for children services department. This is the total amount. Like that, it will calculate the sum of amount for each column. Okay, so just note that this is how to create the pivot table. So in your solution, you can use either cross tab or you can use the pivot table method in order to make the tabular summaries. Okay, so here if you provided two tables, then you will get 4 mark, and then you have to explain the table, like what are the columns, what are the data inside the table. If you explain, for the explanation you will get 2 marks. Okay, so that is about the tables. Then at least two relevant visualization along with your critical interpretation of each visualization. Here you have to draw two graph or two charts. You can draw like a scatter plot, bar graph, column graph, line graph, anything. So two graphs should be there, and you have to explain about these two graphs, like what is the graph, what is x-axis, what is y-axis. So you need to explain the two visualization here. Okay, then your final answer to the research question, because here we already explained whether the variables are correlated, whether there is a correlation between the variable. You need to write the same thing here because it is for 2 mark. Okay, then your critical comment on your conclusion, and this is also for 2 marks. Okay, so this is the main part. Here you are going to write the statistical method, explanation of the statistical method, then the tables, the visualization, explanation of the table, explanation of the visualization, and also the final answer. Okay, then reflection, you need to write about your experience with this project. How about the experience, whether it is good or bad, whether it went well or not, and so on. What you learned from this project, what are the things which went well in this project, what are the things which wrong, and what are the benefits that you get from this project. Okay, so you have to write all these, because here you have 3, 4, 5, 6 marks. Okay, then the next part for references, here you have to write 6 references, at least 6 references. Here you can see 6 marks are there for 6 references, and you have to write the reference in Harvard style. Don't use any other referencing method. You have to use the Harvard style. And also there should be citation in the text. Okay, because if citations are not included, 1 mark will be deducted. So make sure that you added the citations in the text or in the answer of question 2. So this is all about the question 2. I hope you got an idea that how to answer. And one more thing I want to tell you, of course, there is similarity detection software. So it will give you the similarity ratio. If it is like more than 90 percentage, let's say from 90 to 100, you will get 0. So once if the ratio is from 90 to 100, as a tutor or as a BCC, I cannot do anything because this is the report. We have to we have to upload the report. So we cannot make any adjustments if the ratio is 90 or more. Okay, it will be 0. No way to do anything. So please make sure that you are not copying from others or you are not using the same words. Make sure
Doctor,
that, yes.
this is just for the report, right? Not for the notebook that we're gonna submit.
Yeah, just for the report, but the report
Okay.
is based on the notebook. So because in if you have the same code, of course you will have the same output. So your description, it will be the same. So don't use the same set of variables, or don't use the same code, because of course it is depending on the code. Okay. And also, if it is from 70 to 90, if your similarity ratio from 70 to 90, 70% of the mark will be deducted. Okay. So your mark is 10, so 10 into 70 by 100, which means that 7 mark will be deducted. That means 10 minus 7, which means that only you will get 3. So if your similarity ratio is 70, that means if your ratio is between 70 and 90, your mark will be 3 marks. So please make sure your ratio will not reach to 70%. Okay. Then from 50 to 70, 50% of the mark will be deducted. Okay. Which means that you will get half of the mark. Okay. If the total mark is 10, you will get only 5. Okay. Again, it is very low. And if you will be safe if your similarity ratio is below 30%, because from 30 to 50, 30% of the mark will be deducted. So if your ratio is less than 30, which means that no deduction will be applied and you are safe. Okay. So when you finish your TMA, make sure that you did not copy from others, you did not copy from any other website, uh, so that you can make sure that your ratio will not reach more than 30%. Okay. Don't use ChatGPT or any type of AI tools, because the similarity software that we are using, it will detect whether you used an AI tool or not, and how much percentage you cheated, how much percentage you got from that tool. Or also, if you think that okay, I can take from that tool and then I can rephrase, if you are changing your words, it will show how much percentage you rephrased. So all these things will be detected, it will be shown for us. If you use in illegal characters, white characters, incorrect characters, it will be detected and it will be considered as cheating and you will get penalized. Okay, so don't do any kind of these things, because at the end, if you get less mark, if you come and say that I didn't copy, I didn't do, I didn't cheat, we cannot help you at all, because if the ratio is this, we have to apply this penalty as a tutor. Okay, we cannot do any kind of adjustments. Okay, especially because it's an open university course, the external examiners will check this, so we cannot do any kind of adjustments for especially an open university course. Okay. So please take care of all these points and try to solve it and try to submit on time. Okay. If you are submitting late for each late day, again 10% of the mark will be deducted. So please make sure that you will submit on time. So today is 9th of November. Uh, the due date can be either 18th of November or 19th or 20th. It is not finalized yet, so it can be 18, 19 or 20. So before, make sure that you finish everything before 18. Okay. Yeah, I did not created the submission link. Hopefully I will create the submission link and you can submit. Of course, yes, I will post the recorded session on LMS. For every master session, I am posting the link in each unit under the VC links. Okay, we have unit 1, unit 2, unit 3. So within each unit, there is a tab VC links. Under VC links, you can get the link of the master session. Okay.
Doctor, can we have more than one research question so that the similarity is less? Can we do like 2?
You mean 2 research question?
Yeah, and then like provide 2 visualizations for each and so on, so that
No.
the similarity is less.
Because for each of us, we have around 70 or 70 students, or some tutors, they have more than 70 students. So if you are writing too many research question, it will lose our time. So you need to write only one question. If you write 2 question, no matter, because if one question can be matched by the other student. So no, this is not related on the number of research questions that you are writing, the way that you are writing. Okay. If you are copying from another student, of course the ratio will be high. So try to write from your own mind, try to write from by using your own words, so it will not be that high, the ratio will not be that high. Okay.
Doctor, can I ask two questions?
Mm-hmm.
The first one, if you could just reopen the TMA file, just for me to ask.
What I explained, how to find out the null values, how to find out the duplicate value. Uh, you can get all these code from notebook 3, handling missing values. Okay, so you can refer that notebook and you can find how you can find out these things. Everything is there in the notebook. Okay, so please refer notebook 3.
Doctor, for the last part of the TMA, where they ask you to write the references, where they ask you to write the objectives and such points,
Mhm.
can I write the beginning of it, like, for example, references with its number, and then under it write in bullet points the references, or like for the objectives in the same way? Or it
Object
must be like a paragraph, a complete paragraph where each and everything is related to each other?
No, it shouldn't be like that. You can write the object. You can write in any way. For example, objectives. You can use bullet points, or you can write as a paragraph. No matter. Then for the references, you can number it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or you can make bullet points. No matter. The main thing that we are checking for references, whether the references are in Harvard style or not. If it is not in Harvard style, you will be deducted mark. And if you are not using citation, you will be deducted mark. So what you need to make sure, write 6 references, because there are 6 marks for references. So you have to write 6 references, each reference in Harvard style, and also you have to include the citation. No need to paste the code in the Word file. Just take the screenshot of the output and attach in the Word file.
Doctor, you also mentioned that we cannot use like any AI tool. So if I did not understand a specific thing and I asked it and then I like used my own words to write it, or if I gave it my like
You can use
file,
AI tool, but you need to rephrase it. You need to change the text by your own words.
what if I gave it like my final files and I asked it to check it? Is it also considered like?
You mean if you want to check your similarity ratio in other software?
No, I meant if I like provided the, like, for example, Gemini with my files after I finished my TMA and asked it like for any mistakes or error checking.
No,
So
no, because if your file is uploaded to any other tool, it will increase the similarity ratio, because here they are checking your answer with any other websites. Okay, so it's better not to do that.
not even to take like parts of my TMA, copy them and paste them there and ask for any
Uh,
adjustment or anything.
as per my knowledge, to be safe, don't do that, because I hope it will increase the similarity ratio. Because
Oh,
the similarity software that we are using, it is checking all the websites, checking against all the websites.
okay, thank you. So how can we check for any like mistakes or anything before submitting?
You cannot use any websites to check whether it is correct or not. No way. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions?
Doctor, in the
Doctor,
last part,
I
there is no
couldn't
like
show
word
my quiz.
count. Right?
I didn't get you, because you both of you are talking at the same time. Okay. Anyone? Okay.
Doctor,
Yes.
for my last two quizzes, I couldn't show my grade on LMS. I sent you many times email.
And I told you to check, because I already enabled the link. Others, did you see the
No,
grade?
after you send me the check, it's still the same issue.
Did you attend the quiz? Both the quiz?
Yeah, both.
Both. When you attended on Thursday from 10 to 12?
Yeah. I attended and attempt all, but
No, 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 no.
no grade.
I mean, there were several quizzes. One on Wednesday from 12 to 2. The other one Wednesday in the evening. Then Thursday 12 to 2. then one for Sunday in the evening. So which time you wrote the quiz? At which time?
I took my two quizzes. I took it with Dr. Mahmoud online. You open it to me based on the Excel
No, no,
sheet
no.
due to my work
You
situation.
belongs to which session?
What?
Your session number.
Session number 1101
1101.
with
Okay.
Dr. Mahmoud.
What you need, go to the in-class activity and check your attempt. So under your attempt, check the marks.
I
Okay, wait,
did, doctor,
wait,
but
wait,
it's still not shown.
wait. For others,
Same
did you,
for me. I don't have it either.
what about others? Anyone who could see the marks?
Same for me. I cannot see it.
You all belongs to which session?
I am 6101.
6101,
2201.
2101. Because for me, I grade
2201.
2201 belong to who is the tutor? 2101 to Dr. Arif.
عارف.
I hope he graded because he said that he graded, but I will check with him.
Doctor,
Okay,
I'm basically with you, but due to my work situation, I just attend and make my quizzes with Dr. Mahmoud.
no,
So
no.
my mark should be
You
with you.
listen. The LMS is on the quiz. If you belongs to which session, at that session, in that session, you can write the exam, even if you attend with Dr. Mahmood or anyone else, because you can see the quiz under your session, not with the other tutor. Okay, so it doesn't matter.
So, Doctora,
Yeah,
what
it is
should we
still.
do? Because my situation, like Nujud, uh, because of my work, I couldn't attend to your classes. And
Mhm,
I came to visit you in your office and I
mhm.
talked to you and Doctora
And
Sarah. I took
the
just only one exam with you,
why?
but I
Because
didn't know about.
I don't know why
Yes.
you are saying all this, because if you belong to session one, the class time of session one is on Thursday 10 to 12. The quiz will be available on LMS at that time. So wherever you are, you can attend the quiz at that time.
Sorry, Doctora, no one clarified those things to me. Even when I went with the Dr. Mahmoud, he didn't reply after you give him your permission
No, no.
to make me be with him.
Whoever come to me, I told you, if you cannot attend, you can attend wherever you are, because it is available on LMS. No need for a link, no need for anything else. At the time of
Oh,
your class, just open LMS, just open the quiz, and you can attend the quiz. That's it.
sorry, Doctor, it wasn't clear for me. But what should I do now?
Because we left with the six more quizzes. So I
Okay.
will choose the best five. So try to
Mm,
attend the remaining quizzes. That's it.
okay.
Okay. Okay. So for those who could not see the mark, I will check, and then I will make sure that it will be available for you. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Doctor.
Any other question? If no other question, I will stop here. Yes, the next quiz, you have to write the SQL statements.
It will be the same as the MTA.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So can I stop? No need, I already told you, no need to paste the code in the Word file, just to put the screenshot of